What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Monday Night Wave, or my bad, the Monday Night Wave, your favorite wrestling podcast, available on Spotify and YouTube, by the way. I go by Jay, your host, aka the Lonely One, aka the producer, aka Beats by Jay. The babyface is babyface, you know. But with I'm nothing like my host. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got the juice like that. So for the one time, I'm gonna pass it off to my man Hero. Go ahead and take it away from here.
He is a wild card. He is the king of gorgeous. He is Mr. Sexy Ass Lottery. He is Hero, and I am he. And Lone Briscoe, I got a question for you.
I was trying to think of a Jay Briscoe impersonation. I ain't got that in the bag.
Yeah, you might get canceled. What do you want to pot about?
It's a great day to pot about wrestling, people. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about this week, man. Blood and guts happened this week. We got Liv crying on TV. We got a Samoan werewolf going fucking ape shit this week. It's a lot. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. First things first, we got wrestling news.
Yes. Ride the wave with us. The wave
yes,
news.
Right.
The news wave or some shit. We'll figure it out. Brandon.
We'll figure it out. First thing I got is this week we found out that Bobby Lashley is expected to leave WWE. At this point, anything can happen. He can kind of resign if he wants to, but the way the
news was
going,
the way the news was portraying it was that it seemed like he was released, and then it was like his contract is set to expire in such and such days. Pretty much what we've been seeing the last couple of months. So as of right now, him and MVP. They're still technically on contract, but I guess they were removed from the internal rosters, which was also giving some confusion. But as of right now, they're still under contract.
Quick note about this. This makes sense with like the way MVP was like going crazy on Instagram and in the comments and shit like that. He knew what the situation was. I saw some shit where people were like, how could you fumble Bobby Lashley? And I'm like, WWE did not fumble Bobby Lashley. Like, no.
And it's funny. The picture that everyone was using was a picture of him with the title around his waist, talking about
it was like, how'd you fumble? It's crazy.
It's like he's the champion in the picture you're using. Like, what are you talking?
That's what I will say. Like, they didn't fumble. Bobby has 2 WWE championship like runs. He has ICs and United States. I'm not too sure Bobby had a tag in like recent memory to me. I can't really remember. But Bobby was heavily used.
And Andre the Battle, which is whatever. But yeah, he won that too. Yeah.
He's heavily used. Will I say that you could have maybe missed out on some potential that you just didn't explore, Bobby? Absolutely. But as far as like fumbling him, no, Bobby was not fumbled. Bobby was a legit like mid to main event like kind of player. So I'm excited to see like what he wants to do with his potential. We're hearing that he wants to get back the Hurt Business in some kind of capacity. If he does leave WWE, him and MVP will be out. Shelton's already out there, so you could probably still do that if he wanted to. So it's a possibility. I want to see them happy. He says that the rumors is that like he will continue to wrestle, so that's cool. If they want to do the Hurt Business again somewhere in TNA, AEW, New Japan, it don't matter to me. I just want to see them boys on TV. Because I I'm a fan of the Hurt Business. Like I think that the potential there wasn't utilized, perfectly. But if they feel like they can do that somewhere else, go for it, man. I'm all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, if that's what they want to do, then do it. I don't even want to say I'm on the fence. I'm kind of neutral on it. I could care less if he resigns or if he goes. He's a good talent, but like to me, there's nothing that he can do that we're not seeing that Braun Breaker can't do right now. Or there's other people too that I can name drop. But yeah, as long as if he's happy and MVP's happy, and I think the Hurt Business would probably be more successful in like a New Japan or a TNA. That's not the shit. That's not the shit on AEW. Just like they have a lot of their factions. A lot of their factions just don't like. Besides BCC and the Elite, like most of their factions don't have a crazy shelf life, or they're just not that important. And or like the way that they book big men, like like if you think of Keith Lee or Wardlow or Lance Archer, like they don't really book big Bobby Lashley's body type that great. So, and knowing his personality and like how much money he probably would bring in and shit, I don't know, Tony might have trouble booking that. I don't know. I mean,
we'll see. I will say that their trios division definitely needs more teams, especially if a trios title. So I could see that potentially working out, but at the same time, we got to get people on TV and build up these stories, and that's just a whole process in itself.
Yeah, I mean, and there's some black talent AEW has. I mean, like Lee Moriarty. I mean, he just won the ROH something last night.
Yeah,
but,
pure title. Yeah,
yeah. There's some black talent. Like if they want to form, because I don't like MVP just recently got stem cells, but like as far as his in-ring capability, we don't really know what that is.
No.
So so if there was a trios and like it was him and Shelton, they would have to pick up somebody.
Leo's still out there. Leo is in AEW. So there's some options. There's definitely some options you can definitely play with for like a potential Hurt Business. Sticking in contract news, we have Buddy Matthew resigns with AEW. So shout out to Buddy. I think Buddy could have went back to WWE. He went to TNA. Him choosing to stay in AEW means that they probably gave him a nice fucking bag, but also he likes it up there. So shout out to Buddy for re-signing.
Making more and working less. I mean, that's the American dream, right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, what you talking about? What? Yes.
But if I may be facetious for a little bit, I think he ran away from. I think he ran away from the Dominic smoke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that would have been awkward. That would have been awkward for sure.
You better fight for your wife, nigga.
Yeah. That would have been awkward. She really looking niggas in the face. And these are all jokes, people. They don't take it seriously.
But no, shout out to Buddy. Yeah, Khan probably was like, yeah, I'd rather you just stay. and gave him the bag.
What do you want? Write it down for me.
Yeah, and he's a good. I don't want to say he's a good hand, but he's a good hand. Like he could literally work with anybody. Like anytime they wanted, like he's one of those pieces, one of those players. Like, yeah, you can put him in a match with literally anyone to either elevate himself or to have him elevate other people. Buddy Matthews is a
singles, tag, trios.
He's really good in the ring. He's really good in the ring. So.
Let's see what else we got for contract news.
Beth Phoenix is reportedly no longer under the WWE contract, which isn't that surprising. I wasn't sure she was like on a Legends deal or not, but we haven't seen her since the Edge and Judgment Day feud when she got I think she got glam slammed or some shit. I think it was that I Quit match. I think that was the last time we physically seen her on WWE product. So it's not like super surprising, and I don't think it's anything crazy. She if she wanted to wrestle, she could have wrestled. Like we could have gotten that Rhea match. Right. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if she wants to wrestle. It seems like maybe she literally just wants to be a mom or whatever the fuck. So
be a mom, just chill out. Maybe be backstage. Like who knows? Yeah. Like I guess everybody's question, like, oh, do we see Beth Phoenix in AEW? And I don't think we see her in ring. I think she will be backstage, of course, because her husband works there. So I'm not expecting anything too crazy out of this news right now at all. Next up on the list, we have WWE ends up signing Delta, which is the Australian wrestler that's been rumored heavily for quite a while now. I got a couple of videos on my YouTube, page where I'm going to check her out. I don't have anything to note about her styles or how she wrestles. I just got to go check her out, do some research. But shout out to WWE for getting another talent that was sought after in that market. NXT's next wave is about to be some shit in the women's division, and they better get ready.
Man,
It's
yeah,
about to be nuts.
that next because I think they just did a class picture. That next class picture, like when they're all lined up in the gray shirts, it's gonna be some fire. Like
Oh
you see
yeah,
it,
for sure.
yeah,
For sure.
her with Stephanie and Julia and anyone else that they decide to randomly pick up, any of these NIL talents or something. Yeah, that next picture is gonna be fire.
It's about to be nuts. We have here Bryan Danielson says his contract expires August 1st, which is technically a couple weeks before All In. And so we don't know what Bryan's going to do next. From the looks of it, I don't think that he's, I don't think he cares too much about wrestling full time. He said that before. He said that this was the talk between him and his wife were like this was the last like big deal or big contract that he was signing. So Bryan Danielson may be off in the wind for a little bit. I think he still does the part-time thing. I still think it's with AEW. If he does go back to WWE, that'd be fucking insane. Not bad, but just like I would never think that going. But I will say that since Bryan Danielson has been AEW, this has been some of like the most like fun I've had watching Bryan Danielson wrestle. A lot of the matches that he's had has been very fucking good matches, and he has been wrestling a lot.
Yeah, based on a lot of his interviews the last year or so, it seems like he's going to do part time and he's going to stay with AEW. I think Khan is going to pull out the Brinks truck just to make sure that we at least see him every like at a Revolution every once in a while or
Right.
the next All In or some shit. So I just think he's going to go part time, which is fine because honestly, to keep it a buck, he should have already been part time. Like he could have easily had the Roman Reigns schedule and it would have been fine, and he still would have had all those banger matches. But he wanted to wrestle a lot, and he wanted to wrestle a lot of different people. That was one of the reasons why he left, and he wanted to do the Tokyo
Japan,
Dome,
CMLL, like
all that shit, bleed and all.
And
that,
he
and
has,
anything else. And he has. So
bleed.
That was one of the things he wanted to do. So the part time is fine, and it's also like, what does part time mean to him? Is it a Roman Reigns schedule? Is it a Brock Lesnar schedule? Who knows? I mean, maybe we'll get a new name for it. Maybe this is the Bryanson schedule, and we'll see. Maybe it's him every 3 months or some shit. Who knows?
Seasonal. He just pops up every fall and summer. We also have an announcement from, is it Miko Satomura?
Yes.
She says she's going to retire next year, which would be her 30th anniversary for like just being a professional wrestler. Shout out to her. That's fucking crazy. 30 years in the game as like, any kind of talent in any kind of sport is nuts. But as a professional wrestler, use one of them ones. Like that's really fucking dope. So shout out to her for sure for 30 years of just the grind. Absolutely.
And teaching new talent and bringing them up. The OG final boss, Mako, she's fire. She's fire, and I'm assuming she's going to go to coaching. I think that's what she's been doing. Besides, like every once in a while wrestling, like she's wrestling this week. Honestly, I think her and Bailey match was a few hours ago due to the time difference in Japan. But it seems like ever since NXT UK and how that got merged with NXT 2.0, I think she's been coaching. Which, if that's the case, I mean, you can see it because the women's division in NXT is fucking fire. So
right,
but shout out to her. Yeah, she's plans to. It's April of 2025. So she might get a Mania appearance. We might see her in Las Vegas too. So
I wouldn't be opposed to that. In some kind of capacity, whether that's at Mania, whether like NXT is going to do a show sometime around then, like in some kind of capacity, she should be scheduled or booked for that. Speaking of bookings, we got WrestleMania in London potentially in the works. We got.
It's pretty much a done deal. We just don't know the date.
The date, pretty much.
Well, that's a year is a date. Yeah, we just don't know when it's going to happen.
That should be fucking fire. I would be more interested in doing a Mania or being at a Mania in London over a Mania in Vegas. Not comparing apples to oranges here. Just just saying that, like, for me personally, like going overseas into like a Mania would be crazy. I know your ass got something to say. I could see it. Well, you got something sitting in your chest right now. Something is on this man's chest.
What you just said is wild. You try to go to if I'm going to go to a Mania overseas, it needs to be a place with some good food.
I knew it. It's the goddamn beans and toast. That shit will
and boiled meat, bro. They be boiling their meat till it's gray and shit. Meat. Eating gray meat, bro. I'm good. I'm Gucci on that, bro. If I want to eat like it was Game of Thrones, I go to a fucking Ren Fair. So that's just me, though.
Oh, that's fucking funny. I'm talking about more so from like the travel aspect, like going overseas and like doing like an event and shit like that. That'd be kind of cool. But yes, as far as like the food wise, I wouldn't. I don't know. I'd become vegan for like maybe like a week. Just eating fucking vegetables and shit like that. Keeping it in the realm of like events. Tony came out and said that he would like to have some kind of WWE AEW like crossover show. He doesn't know if it's possible. But he definitely spoke on it. Let's just play. I guess we all know how this shit's gonna work. It's probably not gonna happen.
No.
That's just never gonna happen. And I won't say never because shit can fucking change. But I don't see it in the works. In the event that it did,
he would have to kiss the ring.
See, but like at the same time, like Cody over there like slamming sledgehammers and chairs and shit, like, and now he's the WWE champion. So like shit can happen, bro.
Yeah, it can happen, but he literally just called Shawn and Triple H bald assholes like 5 months ago, and then he just called him the Harvey Weinstein of wrestling 2 months ago. Like that shit, and then there's only one con in wrestling. Like he said a lot of egregious shit, and it's not just to say like, oh, like it's not about who's taking shots or whatever, but him personally, him as the owner, he said a lot of crazy shit to where it's like, yeah, we can have the conversation, but there's gonna have to be like, there needs to be some apologies. There needs to, I don't because like the Harvey Weinstein comment, like again, that's crazy. And then like
that's crazy.
And then, like, yeah, Hunter and Shawn are very close friends, obviously. You call my friend a bald asshole, like, I got some smoke with you, bro. Like, so. But yes, nothing is impossible. I just love when Tony says things like this, where it's like, you are the owner of the company. Like, you have, like, he'll be like, man, I would love to have a theater on AEW more. We just can't really figure it out. Or he's like, nigga, you are the booker. You could put her on right this second. You could have her right there. Just. When he says when he says shit like that, it's just weird.
It's like when you would see like Biden tweet about like student loans, like, we should like do something about these student loans. It's like, nigga, you the president. Like,
it's exactly that. It's exactly that. It's like, well, if I don't get reelected, I'm gonna do this. They can do it now. just do it right now. Like, goddamn.
Yeah. I definitely see that. Maybe I'm a slight chance of hope, man. Like literally, maybe 5% for me. It would be dope. I don't know if it will happen. I don't think Tony would take the NXT thing either. Like, you're not about to see me NXT talent. He's not going for that shit.
No,
he would want to be main roster kind of shit. You're not about to little bro Tony with the NXT talent. He's not taking that. Speaking of talent,
if I'm H, like if that's the case, I would send you my AJ Styles or my Bobby Lashley's. You're not going to get like, I might tease a Cody, but you would never get like a Roman. If Kenny was healthy, I would give you Seth just to see Kenny and Seth. But other than that, you getting the Bobbies. You can have Cedric Alexander, or you can have a Legato. But
could you? He said Legato. Could you think like about the way the internet would blow the fuck up if you did? I don't know, some kind of like a Worlds Collide event for WWE, and it's fucking Punk versus Jack. Like, just the way the drama would explode on the internet, bro, would be fucking crazy. There's a lot of money to be made there, but there's also a lot of money to be made what you could have done in AEW.
Yeah,
but I think that with that absolutely with the way that like the internet would work right now, you would have motherfuckers just flipping the fuck out, yo.
Oh yeah, no, the first couple hours people would be like, "This is AI. What the fuck? This shit ain't real. Did Drake really say this?"
What? No, dead ass.
But like if I could get Kitty and Seth, I would do it. Other than that, I don't know, bro. You have to get NXT talent and like it, nigga. If I'm Triple H,
I'll take AJ Okada too. You give me AJ Okada, Kenny Seth, like we can work that out.
I'll send you Ilya as well.
Yeah, there's some options there.
Yeah,
fucking Ilya versus like Pac. Fuck. Keeping in like the talent realm, Triple H says that Brock can come back whenever Brock wants to. Are you on the side of keep Brock where he at? We don't need him no more, or would you like to see Brock come back? Like it's a very weird situation for me. Like I don't really have a complete answer yet. I keep going back and forth on like whether or not I would like to see Brock, wrestle. Mm-hmm. Where do you stand with this? Like.
As of right now, I'm keep him where he's at. Just because, like Brock Lesnar, like when he was feuding with Cody, that was some good shit because it helped elevate Cody to where it's believable that he can fight a Roman Reigns. But to me, right now, there's not a lot of talent that I would want to see Brock Lesnar go up against. We already got the Omos match. We already got the Cody match. So it's like, unless I don't know, I would wait a year, and then like maybe get it. No, okay, I don't know. It's weird because it seemed like we were going to get Brock and Gunther, and then all that news with the Vince stuff came out, and so yeah, I'd wait a little while. I'd wait until probably Rumble again, and then maybe see if we can get Braun and Brock, as in Braun Breaker, or then pivot back to that Gunther Lesnar match. But yeah, like as of right now, I don't. The company's so hot; he's not needed. Can he add to it? Sure, you can always add to it. But sometimes if you add too much salt to shit, to your food, then it's not going to be tasty.
Yeah, you can fuck the dish up.
Yeah, he's as of right now, he's not needed. The company's as hot as it's ever been. But yeah, I don't know. I just keep him on the back burner. He's fine. He's hunting. He's with his daughter, doing shit. Yeah, and also the allegation, like you can argue the allegations could still die down a little more. Also,
absolutely.
So
1,000%.
Yeah.
All right. So before we get into like the Raw, I have a question before we get into Raw, and it's very interesting for me. Roman Reigns, right, is rumored to appear at SummerSlam. That's what we're guessing it was going to happen and whatnot. Roman and like the bloodline and SmackDown has been like tied. My thing with this is that Roman is a free agent. Is there a possibility that Roman does not go to SmackDown and he goes to Raw?
Yes, but I think he only goes to Raw to try to get Jay and Sammy back on his team.
And that's where my head was going to.
But we're going to see him at SummerSlam, and we're probably going to see him on SmackDown a few times before that Raw trip.
Yeah. Do you think the way the story would go is that, Roman goes to SmackDown, doesn't have enough manpower because clearly the bloodline right now is pretty stacked. Like they got members. Roman is going to come in solo with him and Paul and maybe Jimmy. Potentially Jimmy. You're outnumbered here. I think it does kick off the redemption kind of tour for Roman to where he has to build up the trust of everybody around him, especially if this is going to be like a babyface run. And I just don't know how much I want him to lean into the babyface side because Tribal Chief is Tribal Chief. That motherfucker will take you on 4v2. Like, it don't matter.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna go like full like gee golly like smiling baby face.
Right.
I think he'll be baby face, but I think he'll still lean in towards like the tweener aspect to where like he's still cool. Like he's not like he's not doing the superhero like super white meat baby face as one of the terms is. But the redemption arc I think will be cool. The potential of having Roman and Cody in a tag match. There's so many good things. Like there's so many different match outcomes that can happen once Roman comes back. And and as a good guy, as a babyface,
it's funny that you mentioned that. It's funny that you mentioned Roman Cody tag team because my head is like, who closes the show? Do you have Cody WWE champion close the show, or does Roman close the show? I feel like they're both like the 1A, 1B, the alpha kind of like wrestlers in WWE, to where I don't know if you have enough like pride and ego to like, to work with, there to where like, does Cody take a hit? Does Roman take a hit? Roman's about to fucking pop off when he comes back. What does that do to Cody? Which is why I lean more into Roman being on Raw, because you can kind of separate the two for the time being. But eventually that ship is going to crash into each other again.
Yeah, well, I think they're going to work together for a little while, and then once it's time for them to finally like split up again for a little bit, that's when we're going to get the Cody Randy feud, and that feud is going to be just as hot with those particular players. Like we know what Randy can bring, and we know what Cody can bring. That feud is going to be hot, especially if it's booked correctly. And while Cody's doing that, Roman obviously is going to need more allies, so then that's when he'll probably try to get Jay and Sammy. Or maybe even bring in new help, because again, that Hikuleo. I swear, I hope I'm saying that right. Hikuleo is officially signed,
right?
And I believe he's. I don't remember if he's a Tongan or if he's a Fatu.
I thought Tala Tonga. I thought that's what the name I seen. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, but yeah. So there's a whole nother player. Yeah, man, and the Rock is still around. Wandering,
yes.
For a potential return. So yeah, man. I don't know if I answered the question. I don't even remember what the question was. But him being a free agent, he's going to go to. I think he's going to go to both shows because he's going to try to. I think he's going to have to be the one to try to patch it up with Jay. It's not. I don't think it's going to be Jimmy. Like even if Jimmy and Jay do get on good terms, I don't think that's going to be enough for Jay to finally, because he's over as fuck. Like honestly. One could argue he should not ever come back, just because it kind of fucks up his story or his redemption, or like his solo arc. Like he's done all this growing to finally be his own person. He's literally one of the most over fucking people in the entire company. Just to go back to help family real quick. You could argue that might diminish his storyline or his story arc as a character. So there's a chance there's a chance Jay never even shows back up. There's a chance where he's like, look, I like you, I love you, I accept the apology, but I'm doing my own thing still. So, I mean, yeah, who knows?
It would explain the reason why they keep Jay away from like all these big moments. Like, oh, Jay should have won a Money in the Bank. Jay should have beat this person here. Jay should be doing this. But because like y'all not giving him anything, it has to be for this story of, Roman and the bloodline. Like, that's the only way I would accept it, because like there's moments where Jay should be at SummerSlam. It should be maybe, Jay as world champion right now, and then he's fighting Gunther or some shit like that. Like, that's the only way this shit makes sense to me.
Yeah, I can see that too. Absolutely.
But let's get into it. Monday Night Raw. Let's talk about it. We got the Ring General opens up the show. What you got?
Yeah, he opens up the show and he pretty much doubles down on what he said last week. And yeah, he was like, man, he's a bum. He's street trash. They were in Green Bay. He's like, oh, y'all motherfuckers is bums too. Yeah,
leaning into it,
bro. He was leaning into it. Everyone's y'all pretenders, y'all some wannabes.
Pretenders, yep.
He said, since Judgment Day likes judging people, I'm gonna judge y'all. All y'all street
collectively,
trash. Bro.
Street trash. Nigga, I was like, oh damn,
bro. Bro, turn this shit up, bro. This Gunther shit is great because it's like it's not edgelord, but it's still disrespectful enough to be like, God damn, like similar to what we talked about last week. It's like, I was feeling Damien's anger because it comes off so
high
smug.
Society.
Yeah.
It's Victorian in a way. It's very like, ugh, you guys play outside. I don't play outside.
Yeah, but I have
white linens.
Priest comes out with the microphone. You think we're going to get another promo battle, but it gets straight to the fist,
straight to the fisticuffs.
In the pop, like these last 2-3-ish weeks have like, I mean, it's worked. Like Priest he's a successful babyface right now. Like the last 2 weeks, the pops that he's been getting, the cheers, because we want to see him fucking beat Gunther based off of all the bullshit that Gunther is saying. It's working. Like, it's good shit. It's good shit. At least as of right now. And now I'm fully. If I wasn't before, I'm definitely fully on. I think Priest should retain at SummerSlam. At this point,
me too.
Yeah, we need to see Gunther get his up and comings, and then he could. Yeah, then again, he can win in Berlin. So
Priest, he needs like another match. I think the J match was very good. But the ones after that were like, the leg thing and the mix up between the kick out and whatnot. He just needs another solid match, something that just goes off without a hitch. Because right now, all like Priest's recent matches has been like, oh my god, he almost broke his ankle, and he just needs one clean match for his his championship run. All right. Yeah. Otherwise, it's gonna look like every time you talk about Priest's reign, there was a hitch here, there was a hitch here, there was a hitch here. Like, no, let's just give him one good one. I don't need nothing to happen in this Priest versus Gunther match besides him throwing on a great fucking match and him just beating Gunther clean, no interference. 1, 2, 3, cool. All right. Yeah. Although I did see the rumors were like, they're like, oh, Giovanni may come. No, keep Giovanni's ass away from this.
He's on Smackdown. He should be away.
Yeah, like, I get it. I understand the story there, but no, I need straight 1v1s here. Like, nothing else.
Yeah, I don't know about the interference part, but I would like a match that doesn't have a moment such as him almost breaking his leg or the miss kick out. I agree with that part. I do agree with that part.
Which he came out and said, like, I didn't miss a kick out. Like, that's not what that was. Like, so I don't know what the fuck happened there. He says it was not a missed time. He doesn't miss kick outs, whatnot. People are speculating that he just got hit really fucking hard and maybe like he was out for a little bit. I don't fucking know. We'll see when we get that story in the book.
Yeah, at this point, everybody's lying. Just stop bringing it up. just stop. Like, I literally, every time I forget that it happened, him or Triple H or someone is saying some shit, just leave it the fuck alone. Like, it never happened.
We don't even know.
Like, in the video package, you're going to edit that part out. So just leave it. Just stop bringing it up.
Exactly.
So Priest and Gunther, they brawl until commercial break, and then after the commercial, you still see them fighting for. Like there's a moment of breath where like Gunther's just like pacing in the back. Like, I can't believe this street trash just touched me type of pace, and then Priest comes out of nowhere, and the brawl commences, and then Pierce kicks them both out. But a good strong showing. Yeah, neither of them look weak, man. Again, like the way that they're booking this, it's looking good. Like Gunther still feels like, he still feels like one of the main bosses. One of the I don't want to say the final boss because I feel like I used it twice already with two different characters. But like he seems, like he's not the henchman. He's not the C tier villain. He's probably the nigga that you fight right before you fight Joker, but he's still a big ass villain. So
right.
He's there. He's there. And Priest, they're making Priest a really good babyface, a really believable babyface. So by the time Finn or whoever portrays him, it's gonna skyrocket even more.
Yeah, he's gonna skyrocket, and it has to be somebody that he really like trusts. It has to be, and I don't think like the relationship between him and Finn looks really close right now, so you can kind of see it coming. But let's say it was like Rhea who fucking flipped on Priest, like that would be fucking crazy. Like,
yeah,
you have to tie the relationship up a little bit between him and Finn. It doesn't seem like they're buddy anyway right now, so you, like I said, we can all kind of like see it coming. First match of the night is Ilya versus Braun Breaker. Once again, this is one of those matches where I was like, let them cook.
Yeah, fire ass match.
Let them go. Couple spots was like, the suplex on the steel post was fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just fucking insane. Braun had crazy like little gut buster. I think Pat coined his Frankensteiner the Breakensteiner, which I liked a lot. I think Breakensteiner was fucking dope.
Yeah.
And then it gets to the point where I don't know what move led into her calling off the match, the ref calling off the match.
It was a spear. It was a spear.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it was like he jumps off the side of the ring and he gets speared. And the way that he sells it, it looks like his head hits the ring. I think it was like, in actuality, I think it was like his elbow. But like the story that they were trying to say was, at least the way that I took it, the story that they were trying to say was that, yeah, it looked like his head hit the ring, ricocheted, no pun intended, off the ring and bounced up and shit. And so they had to call a TKO. And Braun is the number one contender. It's dumb ending. I mean,
please, bro.
I don't know. Like between what TK did with Ospreay and MJF and what Triple H is doing with Braun Breaker and all these fucking interferences and shit, like there has to be a fucking middle ground, you guys. Like, if you don't want these people to beat each other, you like draws and technical knockouts. It's irritating as fuck. But like, I get that sometimes you have to do them. But man, I don't know. Find a creative way to do it, or at least a more creative way. Because him faking or him acting like he bounced his head on the fucking ring is scary, and it's just, it's not. It was like, I don't know. It was underwhelming.
I feel like it's disrespectful to the fans, bro. We pay for tickets to come see these people wrestle and get a clean finish and whatnot, or just matches in general. And like every week there's a DQ or interference of some sort. And like we have to wait for the payoff at these big shows. Like that feels fucked to me. Give me something at once in a while, like let me watch a match and be there live and be like, okay, I know it's going to be a start to finish kind of match. And like just be okay with it, because now it's just like, okay, well, we don't think this crowd is worthy of this finish, though. Let's save this for one of the big 4 pay-per-views, and let's just, let's do Ilya versus Gunther at Survivor Series. It's like, bro, like, goddamn, give me something. It's okay to run shit back sometimes too, especially in WWE. I would much rather see it in WWE. Like,
yeah, and also like
you got me on those.
Yeah, no, and sometimes just commit to it. Like if you're gonna do the
that's it.
If you're gonna do the technical knockout, I mean, granted, last week he did randomly throw a chair. Then up the ante, have him bring out a ladder and beat it and beat his ass or hit him with the car. I don't fucking just commit to something. It. Other than like, oh, he accidentally hit his head on the ring, so he's concussed or whatever. Technical knockout. I'm like, okay, like you gave us like that was a good first. That was a fire like 10-minute match or however long the match was.
It was fire.
It was fucking amazing. I mean, and they don't have bad matches, especially together. But they usually don't have bad matches in general. Like Ilya is one of those people similar to a Daniel Bryan, who he could wrestle a fucking floating plastic bag and put on a fucking 5-star banger. But goddamn, like figure out ways to. Yeah, I don't know. It's
something else besides the DQ.
It's been back-to-back weeks.
I don't know.
It feels like it's almost every week.
Have the nigga walk through the crowd and be like, I don't care about this match, and just walk off. I'd be like, that's fucking crazy. That's weird. But at least it's not a regular like DQ. Like I don't know, man. DQ finishes are just kill me.
Well, yeah, right it's because it's fucking It's been every week because even in this match, fucking Sheamus interrupts the fucking Bronson rematch and Bronson and Pete Dunne match, and that also happened last week. So it's like and I know it's a 3-hour show, but goddamn it, you can't have like 3 DQs every fucking week. It's very similar to AEW, like how every match used to end with a brawl. Like You can't every match should end with a fucking brawl with 30 people fighting. You got to switch this shit up. It's getting aggravating a little bit.
Yes.
It's just like, dude, it's just like.
And I think it's more so aggravating because we're watching a lot now, right? So we watch a lot of wrestling every week, and so like we're seeing the similarities, or in like last week and the week before and whatnot. So we're like, y'all not really changing shit up. Like, please give us something different.
I'm pretty sure it's been 4 Raws in a week that has had 2 matches, specifically with these same like 6 characters all in the fucking same. Yeah. It's like, what is going on?
Yeah. Let's see. Moving on here.
We get a JD segment, which it's. I want to talk about it real quick because last week Dom tried to fight Jay to stick up for Mommy. Didn't pan out well. Mommy didn't even want that match to happen.
Nope.
And this week it's very similar to where like Rhea's like, I said not to fight Jay. Like, why are you guys keep trying to fight Jay? You see Finn kind of being the devil's shoulder on Dom. I'm bringing this up because it's interesting storytelling in the sense where it makes it seem like it does make it seem like Rhea is liking on Jay, but in reality, I just think she knows that he's too big, and it's like, why are you fighting this over ass guy who's more than likely going to beat you? But the way that it's kind of every JD segment at this point is very Jerry Springer, very CW. It's very Dawson Creek. It's like,
it's like it'd be like, y'all need to go handle Braun Strowman. Where's Rhea to be like, no, why are you guys fighting Braun Strowman? She was the voice of reason, and she would have saved 3 weeks of y'all getting your ass whooped. Like, he's telling y'all, hey, stay away from Jey Uso. He up right now. I like you, Dom. I own you, but you getting your ass whooped by Jey Uso is just not what's in best for the business right now of Judgment Day.
No, what does it do besides give us a loss?
This sets off like a continuance of a story here. Just pay attention to the fact that JD or Judgment Day is looking for Jay. That's the running theme for this show. We get a Nikki Cross tape. Just briefly, like, people are lied, they ignored you, they watch you suffer. So we're definitely getting more character tapes for the White Six, which I'm all for. I need to get a White Six shirt, by the way, too, or a hoodie. I prefer hoodies. We then get a Punk promo.
Yeah.
CM Punk is here. He calls out Drew. He says he's healthy. He's 100% cleared. Yep, it's time to catch these hands. Yep, come on down to the ring.
Yeah, and he's taping up his shit as he's doing it. That shit was fire to me. That shit was hard.
Yeah. It's like, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, Drew comes out, and people. This is when people, security and producers starting to hold Punk back and shit, and Drew's just egging him on. And Pierce is Pierce comes out and he makes it official, but they can't touch each other until SummerSlam. Which Drew, at this point, he's acting like he doesn't have a problem with. He's like, well, I've waited this long. I can wait a couple more weeks, whatever.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, which is crazy because, he did literally,
You've been on this nigga's neck.
For real. Like 2 Smackdowns ago, whatever, you took his bracelet. And fucking, bro. Or no, that was before Money in the Bank. But, yeah. But so, yeah, now the rumor that came out, Adam Pearce makes it official because essentially he's like, it seems like, you guys got a problem, but also you guys have a referee problem. And to solve this referee problem, Seth comes out, and essentially Seth is announced as a special guest referee. For the SummerSlam match.
This is, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know who wins this match, and I like that.
Yeah, it goes against what I was predicting or saying. Like, I think the first match should literally just be 1v1. This technically still is a 1v1, but yeah,
1v1.
I think Seth as the authority figure with the referee,
it changes a lot.
It makes it to where it can be booked it can literally be booked very chaotically, or he can play straight down the middle. until because people were comparing this to Bret Hart versus Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as the referee, which I need to watch that match in its entirety because I was a little too young at that point. But yeah, like the match he could start off the match by just curb stomping both of them and saying "fuck it."
See, and I was gonna say that. I was like, he could really do that, but I think more so,
or he plays
he's
it
gonna
down the
curb
middle.
stomp Punk. I think Punk is the one where he gets it. Like, I think the Drew Punk is a placeholder for, like we've been talking about, the bigger story, which is Seth versus CM Punk. Let's say Punk gets the 1, 2, 3 on Drew, and as he's laying there, Seth just comes out and just fucking curb stomps him and walks off. Like, there is still business that needs to be done. And remember, he said consequences. All right, your actions have consequences. We gonna figure that shit out at SummerSlam. He's not gonna just let this man rock with a win and then walk off into the win. Nah, not this guy.
There's a couple matches on this card, which it looks like it's 7 matches, which we we made that joke last week. But
yeah,
there's like 3 out of these 7 matches that were like, man, it could really go anyway. I have no idea how it's gonna be booked.
Either way. Yeah. I love these kind of cards. Before we get off of the Punk stuff, this week we find out that Drew is still being Drew when it comes to the social media games and whatnot. And this man posted a picture with Jack Perry, and I fucking lose it, bro. I'm at work and I see that shit, and I was like, nah, he's the greatest ever. When it comes to when it comes to this subs, bro, like, he's the greatest ever. Like, the shirt, I prayed for this. When it comes to social media hate, Drew McIntyre kills it, bro. It was great because
did you see Kenta? Did you see Kenta add a picture of him?
Yeah, the Kenta with the picture. Yeah, I saw that. Like, I love that shit, bro. That shit is so fucking dope. I also think that, like, the reports came out that they're green lighting everything between them in this feud, and it made me feel how you felt when you were talking about the Ospreay Swerve thing. To where, why do we need to know this? Let it just be what it is. Like, I don't need to know that this is okay between Drew and Punk. Like, that takes away from the heat aspect. Me as a fan still loves it, but me as, like, an adult is like, bro, like, I don't care. I don't care if this is real. I don't care if he likes him or not. Just let this rock, bro. But shout out to Drew. That was great. The man knows how to rock up social media. Next thing up is that we got the Divide and Conquer for Jay from Judgment Day. Dom runs into Liv. I just wrote that as a note. I can't remember exactly what happened between the two of them.
They just talked. Yeah, it was just like a quick talk.
And then as Sammy's doing his promo for Braun Breaker, he ends up saving Jay from Judgment Day because Jay was out there fucking getting stomped on. And then that's how we end up getting, like, our main event of the night, which is Sammy Jay versus Judgment Day.
I would like to say that
Otis
during that jumping, when Sammy comes to help, Carlito's like, abort. Abort. That shit is hilarious.
Yeah. Carlito, we talked about last week, but Carlito as, like, the additional member in Judgment Day has been working. Like, he brings the R-Truth factor right now. And not saying it's complete, like, comedy, but he just has these funny fucking moments, man. We get the New Day Final Testament match. That's fine. We then get Otis gets jumped by the Creed brothers. Or Creed brothers and Chad.
Gable comes out, pretty much says, you tried to do your own thing and you lost with Xavier. Join us. Come back with us because Wyatt's sick. Could be coming after you guys too. And Otis declines. He's like, nah, I'm good. We don't want to be part of y'all anymore. And then they start to jump Otis. And then Wyatt 6 comes out.
Bo hits the Sister Abigail, bro. Like, it was clean.
Well, Uncle Howdy hit that.
Uncle Howdy. You're right. Correct. Yeah, you are right. We got the Rhea Dom promo. You want to take it from here? The illustrious Rhea calling out fucking Liv and telling her to get down to the ring,
Yeah. You want him, come get him. I'm like, oh, this is really cuckish. Like this is. I don't know. I'm not. I wasn't feeling that part. It was giving the abuse victim full, but it's like I know you, mommy, but damn. But
come
yeah,
get him.
Yeah. Again, very very fucking Jerry Springer-ish. Liv comes from the crowd. Yeah, she's talking to the crowd, and we get a split screen, which was cool. So you can see again, very men.
I didn't even think about that. You are right. The split screen makes it very Jerry-ish. Absolutely.
Yeah, or Maury, like all of it. It's just all of it.
Yeah, Montel, whoever.
All of it. And yeah, I mean, pretty much Liv is just like, he really likes me, and Rhea's like getting upset every time Liv pretty much says something about Dom liking her or whatever. And it's like, well, you egged this on. You told her to come and get him. Like, I don't know. It seems counterproductive when a spouse does that. Like, oh, you want my man? Come get him then, and then be upset that she came and get him.
Respectfully, it felt a little diva era to me. It was like, what are we doing here? I get it's entertaining, but this felt very like counterproductive to the storyline.
And the only reason I feel like we talked about it last week. It seems like Rhea is not for any physicality until SummerSlam. So they got to do shit to make this interesting and build the feud up. But Dom pretty much calls her Liv an idiot, and he even says it in Spanish. And it's like I don't know how to get through to you.
I got three words for you.
The
I hate you, and he says it multiple times.
You ruined my life.
Now for all my this, I don't know if people understand what happens when you fuck with like crazy women. But for all my non-black people out there, if you ever watch a movie called Thin Line Between Love and Hate, it does not work well for you. Okay.
No.
So with that being said, Dom, you're in for some shit. I better see Dom bloodied up next to a trash can next Raw because Liv done fucking hit him with a spike bat or some shit.
Yeah.
Jokingly, of course.
There
needs to be something.
Speaking of that, no, this is giving it reminds me of Obsessed with Beyonce and Idris Elba.
Yeah.
But we can't do a Liv drugs him angle, unfortunately. It's not good optics. That would not go over well.
No.
But Dom makes Liv cry, and that's pretty much how it ends. And he wins Mommy's favor by breaking this other girl's heart.
And she licks him in the face to reward him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. After that, we get the main event. And it's Sammy and Jay. They come out. They come through the hallway entrance with the crowd and come through the crowd. Man, just hyped as fuck. And seeing him and Sammy do it makes it so much. I mean, it just made it so much better. And just seeing them team up again, it's just like, man,
exactly.
Which I saw some theories like this is them hinting at the bloodline reunion, the fact that they're teaming up right now or some shit. So who knows? Maybe that's a possibility.
Maybe the catalyst is I only do this if Sammy's here. I don't trust you, but I'll trust Sammy to have my back, kind of thing.
Jesus, goddamn fucking Terminator 2 biking ass motherfucker, bro. Fuck. And it's my MAGA neighbor. Surprise, surprise. Who would have thought a MAGA has a chopper that sounds like a goddamn assault rifle? Jesus. Scared the shit out of me. It scares me. It scares my cats.
Right. It got me. I was like, I thought I live in a nice neighborhood. Fuck. So yeah, I think the catalyst will be that Sammy or Jay only goes to work with Roman if Sammy's there. And I think that would be really fucking a good little spin to it.
Yeah.
About the match in itself, like you said before, it was nice to see them back together because their chemistry is A1, bro. Their chemistry is like so fucking nice. It also did further like make me think that this is going to be a thing because Sammy faces Braun at SummerSlam. I think Braun gets the IC, and I think you just got to let him run. This frees up Sammy to where he can go and do his thing. But what also kind of solidified it for me is that they did a 1D.
Yeah.
Like, Sammy and Jay did a 1D, and it's like that. We all know that's an Uso move. We know what the case is. We know what that is. So to just throw up more foreshadowing that, hey, pay attention to this. This may be where the story's going.
Yeah.
As far as the ending, you can take it from here because clearly I did not remember how this match ended. I thought I did. And
they won.
We talked about a pre-production.
Was it? I don't know. Did they win? They might have won off the 1D. I don't remember how they won.
I thought so. Yeah.
But they won, and then they yeeting with the crowd and whatnot. And then Braun Breaker comes out of fucking nowhere and spears the shit out of Sami Zayn, and then just like smoothly slides out the ring as like Jay's turning around. So Jay's like, "What the fuck just happened?" Essentially, good shit. But yeah, Braun came out of Breaker came out of nowhere and like fucking went through, speared him.
So the beef is still continuing with fucking Braun Breaker and Sammy. Like, that's going to be a thing until SummerSlam. Before we get into AEW Blood and Guts, we're going to take a quick break real quick, and we'll be back in a bit. And we're back, people. It's time to talk about AEW Dynamite Blood and Guts edition. Show kicks off with someone sabotaging Ospreay's truck. He ends up stealing the announcer's truck or the interview car because somebody put a knife through his tires to try to prevent him from being at the show. We then have MJF open up the show for the crowd. I don't know where they're at. I didn't take note of that. I should have took note of that. There's some key moments in this promo where he says that he's waiting for the right moment to go at Swerve. Like, he ain't forgot about his AEW championship. He's waiting for the right time, right opportunity. He ends up calling these the people unpatriotic and treasonous.
Mm-hmm.
And then unveils him and Gunther going to the same school right now. Unpatriotic and treasonous.
Yes, but Gunther is across the pond just like Willie Boy is. It's pro America over here, bro. You know the Olympics is going on right now, nigga.
You right.
USA,
right.
nigga.
He unveils the American Championship and then drops the American flag with his faces in it. And I was like, this is how you do it. If you're going to use the you people gimmick, do it against the guy from London. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That works for me. I'm okay.
Lost the war to our great country.
As he unveils his new belt, he throws the international championship in the trash, which is fucking crazy, and shows off like this gold, red, white, and blue belt. It doesn't look bad. I don't think it looks like a bad belt.
No, it's honestly, it's clean as fuck. One of my AEW extremely AEW pro friends, he was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna get this replica. The title's clean as fuck. The only nitpick I have is that it kind of looks like the state of Texas. The symbol, it doesn't look exactly like Texas. Just it really it reminds me of Texas, and it's like, you're from Long Island, New York. I mean, I don't know, but the title it's actually really clean.
Yeah,
that's one thing AEW does do really good. Their title designs. I mean, the first women's title was and the first couple TNT ones were but like the Intercontinental, their international one is fucking pretty as fuck. Their tag belt is fucking pretty as fuck. This one it's really. I put this in my case. Honestly,
it looks dope. I'm not mad at it. As the promo's going on, Ospreay shows up to the crowd. MJF takes a beeline out, not dealing with that today. And then we get Ospreay wants to settle this at All In. So it's confirmed we get Ospreay versus MJF for All In. And I'm assuming this is for the International Championship or the American Championship.
No. In the promo, he said international. So that made my brain go, okay, because, one, I was already upset that we're getting the repeat this fast, because honestly, the first one should have just happened at Wembley. But then again, we talked about it. They need ratings, yada, yada. It was the 250 episode. You got to do something big. But again, I asked the question, what the fuck are they going to do at this Wembley match that was not already done last week? Because they won an hour. I don't think they're going to go an hour at Wembley.
Right.
So the bar is set high. So they're the two good guys. They're two young talent, great talent, dare I say. I think they could meet. I feel like the crowd is going to fuck with it regardless. And I feel like the fans, their diehard fans, are going to fuck with it regardless. But for me, I'm just like, all right, what are you guys going to do that's going to be different from what I saw? Because it's only it might be a month between the two matches. So there's that. But the thing that has because I fully believe Will is going to win this match because I don't think you beat him 3 times. That would be wild. That would be
crazy.
That'd be wild. Nuts. Especially now it's a home turf one, right? So Will goes over. Will wins. He gets the he gets their Intercontinental title.
Mm-hmm.
What do we do with this USA title? Because Khan loves title. This company has a surplus of multiple belts. And that's not even me trying to knock it. This is a really good title, but it's like, how do you book this thing to where Will wins, he takes the international title, and then what MJF just shows back up is like, well, fuck that. I'm here for America anyway. I just talked to Khan. Now this is official title. How do you book that? Like, how do you? Because otherwise, why did you get this title? That is not a cheap title. Titles aren't cheap, especially the good ones. And I know I follow the person that they go to make belts. I mean, most people go to him to make belts. I think it's Belts by Dan or some shit like that. So it's like, yeah, man, like, what do we do with this title then? Like, are you going to treat it like the FTW to where it doesn't mean shit? Because that would be working backwards.
Right.
And then it's just if you don't do it that way, if you do it the way I just suggested, it's not even suggestion, it's a guess. It's like that it's that stupid booking. It's going to be stupid, but they'll be able to recover it maybe after 2 weeks. But it's like, yeah, like I feel like what's going to happen is, yeah, Will's going to win, and then MJF either next week or the week after is going to be like, well, this is an official title belt. And this is the U.S. title now, and I'm going to make this title prestigious because of America. And I'm like, and I feel like that's the route we're going. I think we're going to get JBL MJF right now, and that's kind of what it's feeling.
Oh my god, that's fucking nuts. MJF JBL is nasty.
I mean, that's already what he's been doing. I mean, that's this whole promo was, it's fuck the UK.
That's not good. Okay, so this is because of that question. I'm thinking about, like, how would they do this, right? Because you don't unveil a show, opening the show, and unveil a title to not use it. And I'm like, okay, either one half of my brain is like, oh, brand split, but they're not doing a brand split anytime soon. They probably should because they have so many fucking people on the roster, but we'll get into that. Then there's also the aspect of, like you said, like one person, MJF comes back next week and he's like, oh no, I'm gonna keep this belt or whatever. But it also could go the draw aspect, and then that would also be a bummer at a pay-per-view. But I could see it to kind of keep the prestige of, like, both belts. Like, nobody lost, they both get to keep their belts. And now you have, like, this asterisk when it comes to MJF and Will Ospreay. But I don't know, man. That's a great fucking question.
Will would have to win for him to keep his half of the belt. And then also, like, the story with Ospreay is that, like, the 2 matches that he's only lost because he refuses to do the Tiger Driver, which he's probably going to do the Tiger Driver at Wembley. The other option,
you're at home, yeah.
The only other option is that Will wins and he keeps the US and he just keeps it the US just to make MJF mad. That's the only other option I can think of at the moment, because we're talking right now, we're spitballing. So, like, to me those are the only 2 options. Like, either you split the belts and Will wins because you don't want to beat him 3 times, so then MJF just keeps the title, and then now this company officially has a U.S. title because they don't have a U.S. title.
They don't, but I thought that's what, like, the whole, like, was the TV or TNT title was. I thought that's where, like,
It's just their mid-card title, but it wasn't like that was the title for it's similar to TBS. It's like it's the title for the show or the cable station that they were on, but it was never their.
Right.
They never labeled it like, oh, this is like it was labeled as the mid-card title. There was the AEW championship, and then Cody made the mid-card title because he couldn't go after the championship based on bad booking, and he signed a contract or all this. Oh, it's bullshit. So I can see them keeping this title. And the only two ways to keep this title as of right now is either Will keeps it just to mock MJF because MJF has been mocking his home, or they just both keep a title.
Yeah, I don't know. This is gonna. It's. I have no idea what they're gonna do with that. But you are absolutely right. What's the goal here? What's the angle? After the promo, we get Jericho versus Suzuki. That was just a chop fest for like 7 minutes, and I'm not joking. We then get Stat attacks Willow. That sets up an eliminator for the CMLL women's title. We then get DMD versus Sheeta. This is probably I think like the third or fourth time facing each other, and the chemistry was there. I think this is the perfect person to open up Britt's like in ring, like debut. Because her and Sheeta have been working with each other like forever. Britt looks good, not as sharp, and I don't expect her to be sharp, especially after 10 months. Like I'm not looking for you to come back and be fucking great. But she looked good. We then get after the match, we get a CEO appearance, denies Britt's challenge for the title, for the TBS title. And this sets up the debut of Camille. We finally get Camille on AEW TV. She is here, and this girl's big as fuck. Like
the Brick House, I think is her like nickname or some shit.
I understand. She came in and did a fucking torture rack with a Blue Thunder bomb like combo, and it was fucking clean. Like I ain't seen a torture rack in a minute. I used to do that shit like my cousin's little brothers, and I was like, damn, like that's what this should look like. You just pick up a fucking 6-year-old and start fucking jumping.
I do it.
It's a very intense move.
I do it to my cats all the time.
That shit looked like it hurt. Man, that shit was crazy.
Shout out to
but Camille is here.
Shout out to her because there's been online uproar because she's been signed for. I want to say she's been signed since February.
Yeah,
I want to say that it's been months. It's been a long time, and like she was posting like every once in a while she'll say something encrypted like hopefully soon, and it's funny because I want to say it was last week. It was either last week or the week before. Tony in one of his random like comments where it's like, well, you are the booker, my guy. He's like, yeah, I'd love to have Camille in. Just looking for a role or something weird. And one of the things and this was from Fightful that I remember seeing it, and it was like, oh, we might have her as a bodyguard. So it's funny that 2 weeks later they have her as Mercedes Heater, her bodyguard, her Diesel, shout out. She's finally here. I think her getting heat based off of just being attached to Mercedes is going to be good for her character, I believe. If I had to nitpick anything, if I remember correctly, her hair used to be blonde. So then her showing up with the color, I was going through her page because I follow her, and I remember her being blonde this whole time. And it looks like recently she just did her hair this color. So I just find it the reason I'm nitpicking it is because to me, for people who don't really know who she is, like you have to be tapped in. Like if you never watched NWA, then you're not going to know who she is based on unless you just heard the chatter online. So I feel like you should have debuted the way that you looked so that people would automatically know who you are instead of like because even the TV audience is like confused. Like Taz is like, that's like you hear him like literally snapping his fingers to think almost. He's like, that's Camille. Like it's like so. Yeah, if I had to nitpick anything, it's like you should have just showed up the way that you normally look, so that people who might know you just from a random YouTube from a year ago or something like, oh, that's Camille. But that's neither here nor there. I'm glad that she showed up. And they This match is officially announced yesterday at Comic-Con.
Comic-Con, yeah.
Yes, when Mercedes interrupts the AEW panel and her and Britt almost scrap, and Camille was with her as well. They were dressed as Poison Ivy and Bane, which is another weird thing. It was hard, but it's another weird thing. Like, you're a new signee, and you're like, the second time we see you, you're wearing a face mask. I don't know. It's just weird. To me, it's just not smart. But it is what it is. Whatever. But yeah, the match is officially announced. So yeah, we will be getting the DMD versus the CEO. And now Camille.
Yeah.
She has a heater now. Cool. So Mercedes has a reason not to wrestle every week, which I'm not saying that she should wrestle every week, but I feel like the TBS title was one of those titles where you, similar to TNT, where it's supposed to be like the open show case type of title, but seems like they're changing the format. That's fine, whatever. But yeah, Camille can get some action as the heater, so that's good.
And I think like the bodyguard role does a lot of superstars well. The people who's in that bodyguard role usually get the chance to like shine off and like to have like their, you know, their moment. Like, you know, thinking about like the Batistas, you know, thinking about like, and no matter how you may feel about it, he definitely had a heater at a time, like Wardlow. Like,
yeah, they just can't book her like they did Wardlow.
yeah, can't do that. And I don't think they will, because the women's division has been a little bit better, and I like the women's division a lot. So yeah, I think Camille next to Mercedes is definitely going to set up some kind of like event or wrestling match between them at some point in time. Hopefully, I think it's gonna be great. I want. This kind of goes back to like, you know, what is she the CEO of, right?
Still,
and I think this is the build for that. I think she has her bodyguard. She's gonna find, you know, whether or not her tag team men or whatever. Like if you put, I don't know, like Mercedes, Camille, and then she had control of like a men's tag team, maybe. If she was like the manager or like the boss or CEO of like Private Party or some shit like that would be fucking dope too. But yeah, Camille's here and we got some stuff to look forward to. We had a promo backstage between Team AEW, and like you see the tensions are rising because Darby does not care for Swerve at all. He's like, I get that you're the leader, but don't forget about the beef that we had. And a lot of them, actually, the source of that promo was like, yo, you are the champion, you and our team, but you did some fucked up shit to us, and we don't forget. So a lot of the people of Team AEW got it out for Swerve. After that, we get the Mariah May arc.
Okay, now, about that though, do you not find that weird? Like they've been on the same page for like 2 weeks already, and then like the day of the show, like 30 minutes before the match, now you guys want to be like, you know what? I remember having beef with your ass. You know, I don't really like you right now. Like y'all been on the same page for like 2-3 weeks, and now you want to bring up some shit. Like,
well, if I'm not mistaken, they haven't like even like lined up yet. Like, so I think Briscoe was the one who had the promo with the Acclaimed and whatnot. So they're talking to him as like, hey, I want to rock with you. Darby just put himself in it because of Jack. And then like Swerve is there because he's like, I'm the AEW champion. I can't be left out. They didn't have chemistry from the jump. Like it wasn't even like they shared screen time. It was even thought about. It is a little interesting that now we just now bring this up. But like, I'm pretty sure they rip.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they did share some screen time last week because like Jay brought Swerve with him to be like, yeah, it's cool or something like that.
Yeah, and like they probably should have elaborated that last week too. Like they should have been like, hey, I will join you, but I don't like you, kind of thing.
Yeah, I just feel like they should have did this last week. Doing it the day of the show, it's just like, oh yeah, it almost seems like, oh yeah, we forgot to be like, hey, let's just show some animosity, sort of that we don't trust you that much.
Right.
You know, I don't know. It was just weird. It's weird.
No, you're absolutely correct. Like the threads have to be a little bit tighter for sure, especially when it comes to, like storytelling and shit like this, because it is very important that this is brought up because, Rampage, Darby wins the Royale, which sets up a AEW championship spot at Grand Slam.
Yes.
So it's very important that, you know, these threads are tied together because like if you're going to have him win and he does not like Swerve, like this makes the next feud even more important.
Which I think is, which now you brought that up because I had that in our news thing. Okay, I need to know when Grand Slam is, but he gets a title match at the end of this night. So now he has 2 title opportunities coming up. It's just
it's like double booking.
I mean, it's long. Like like Tony's finally doing long-term booking, but he's also double booking things at this. Like, because the spoiler, Darby gets a title match at the end of Blood and Guts. We'll talk about it. And now he just won a battle royal last night, which another random thing. Why are you having Rampage? I know it's the Saturday or the Friday night show or whatever, but you're having it at the same time as your ROH pay-per-view. You're taking off eyes from both products. It doesn't make any sense. But anyway, yeah, now he has an opportunity for the world title and the TNT title. There's a chance that he can be a double champ. I don't think it's going to happen, but there's that chance.
Exactly. That's the reason why I wasn't too sure about it, because now I'm sitting here thinking there's no way Darby's gonna be a double champion. There's no fucking way. So he's losing either one of these or both these opportunities. And at that point, I feel like it's a waste in the booking, because if we can kind of predict where this is going, or even have a stronger sense of where it's going, it's kind of useless. But at the same time, who's to say that Swerve's gonna be champion by Grand Slam?
Yeah, that's true.
We don't fucking know.
That's true.
We get the Mariah May arc and the new debut of Mariah May. This match was it was not a filler match, but it was definitely one of those just a statement of who she is. She comes out with a wild fucking drop kick though, immediately just kicks the chick in the chest. But the story here is that it was a Boondocks straight evil grandpa kick to the chest. It was fucking crazy.
It was. What new debut character? What is this new character? Because to me, it looks like the same.
You see what I'm saying? Look, I'm trying to be respectful here. I get it.
And it's not your fault. I mean, they said we're getting the new glamorous Mariah May.
Mariah May, yeah.
And she's the
same character.
It's same everything. Everything's the same. I don't know what is glamorous about her. That wasn't. I don't know. This is again weird. What's going on?
You're not wrong. What is Tony ends up coming out of the crowd in full makeup and black hair and starts a brawl at the end of the match between the two. And I think the quote was, "Are you prepared to die?" as she's screaming from across the ring. I'm looking forward to this one. This is gonna be a good fucking match. Tony's in doing some of her best work, and Mariah May has a lot of eyes on her to perform. So I'm expecting this one to be pretty solid. But to the main event, we are now talking about
the match should be good. I think it is weird. I still think the story, the shift from them being friends to this moment here, I think is still disconjointed. A
little bit.
She revealed that Tony revealed that she was there after Mariah did another fake out, and then she just stood there and stared until finally, why didn't you just attack her? You waited until security got here, and then you did this. Are you ready to die? It's I don't know. You should just beat the bitches. Again, I'm still the proponent that it should have been swapped. Mariah May should still be the face. And even then, they could have waited until this week to do the attack. I still think they we talked about it. I feel like they could have waited a week or so, because now we still got 4 or 5 weeks until this match. So we're gonna be doing this. It's fine as long as they book it. They book it correct. But I think the match will be good. But let's get
just getting off of that real quick. Is that we saw the tester. We saw that. What does Tony look like as a heel? And that was the Deeb match, and they were still not fucking with that. So I just think that there's no way that you could turn Tony into a fucking heel. The crowd just loves her too fucking much. It's insane.
I feel like beating. If they would have did, if she would have did to Mariah what Mariah did to her, I feel like that would have been the way to do it. Similar to when you said if Rhea was the one to turn on Damien, that's the only way that she'll ever be booed. I don't think they want her to be booed, which is why she's a babyface now, quote unquote. But if they did want Rhea to be booed, if she was if she was the one to turn on Priest, I think that'd be it. Unless they really hate, unless they like Rhea so much that they say, "Oh yeah, fuck Priest anyway." That's which that's a possibility.
He deserved it.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
That's a possibility that people do like. Maybe I can see it. I can see people liking Tony that much, just as much as they like Rhea, to where maybe Rhea can't do no wrong and maybe Tony can't do no wrong. So that's probably why
that should be hard to deal with. It's a good thing. It's a great thing, but it's hard to fucking book and plan around.
Yeah.
Main event: Blood and Guts, Team AEW, Jack Perry, Okada, Young Bucks, Hangman Page versus Acclaimed, Jay Briscoe, Swerve, and Darby Allin. Darby and Jack open up the match. I'm just gonna let you know right now, this is typical AEW fashion. A lot of blood, trash cans, extension cords, thumbtacks, the whole nine. Anything you can think of in this, it's probably in the match. The only thing they didn't have is like a ladder spot, but they did have a high flying angle in here. Something to really mention, like I said before, the thumbtack spot was crazy because they threw thumbtacks in fucking Max's mouth and then super kicked him, which is fucking like nuts. One thing to note is that Hangman doesn't come out when he was supposed to come out in this match. Like they're ready for him to come out. At this point, all four of Team AEW or Team Elite is in there, and he's nowhere to be found. As soon as Swerve's music hits, this man is on timing. And I like that. I do like the element of like, we're never going to like each other and I'm always going to hate you. So I'm going to squash your moment anytime I get the chance to do it. I like that level of haterism. And they're definitely foreshadowing Hangman versus Swerve at some point. Like, or he's going to be the CM Punk to Swerve and always kind of like sabotage his man's like, matches. Hangman handcuffs Swerve to the cage. And the match can't continue until he gets in the ring. As a frustrated Matt Jackson is in the ring, he says, if you don't get in the ring, you're fired. And at that point, Hangman gets in the ring. They have words. Clearly, he's not on the same page with the Elite. And I think they're probably going to have some sabotage from Hangman as well, because right now, Hangman just doesn't care about nobody. Swerve gets help from like Jeff Jarrett, Nana, and Billy Gunn. They cut his way through the cage. He cuts his way through the cage based on some pliers that Nana brought in, and then we get the full match. The match can only end in submission or surrender. I was not aware of like the rules for Blood and Guts, so this was very not surprising. But I was like, okay, well, it's an I quit or a tap out kind of thing or kind of situation here. Overall, match is great. I think the match was very entertaining. It's very much AEW-esque here. Like I said, it's just blood and guts. It's just regular like shit that you wouldn't expect them to, or you would expect them to do. Swerve has a dope like 1v4 segment in here. But prior to that, the Young Bucks bring out this box or these boxes early in the match, and the boxes get open and it's unveiled that they have staple guns in them. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you ever seen somebody get stapled by 5 other men, but that shit was fucking insane. Like, that shit looked like it hurt. And they were all taking their shots. But then post that, he has the dopest 1v4 situation or 1v5 situation where he staples all of them back to back. He gets the Bucks in the head. Jack gets shot in the neck. Okada does his whole middle finger taunt and gets stapled in the fucking finger. And then he gets Hangman in the cheek. So it did make Swerve look like a very solid, like, fucking champion here. What?
Oh, no. I mean, we could talk about it, but Okada was the smartest working man in this entire match.
Oh, he didn't. What? Yes, bro. I was looking at that. I was waiting for an Okada, like, something to do with blood or, like, hardcore action, anything. And that man stayed clearly away from all that shit throughout the entire match. Yep. I think the hardest part of this match for him was taking the staple to the finger. And that's if he took the staple to the finger.
He showed a picture, and it was the smallest red dot you would ever fucking see.
Oh, Yeah. Oh, was that in reference to like when I think Jericho posted like he broke his finger and the Okada posted his hand or whatever from like
Yeah,
afterwards?
yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. As the match comes into a close, or after the commercial break, there's action outside the ring. So they all escape through the ripped piece of the cage that Swerve came into, and we got 4 tables stacked outside. We have a segment between Nick Jackson and Anthony Bowens, where Anthony Bowens takes a mean fucking dive into 4 tables. We get a coffin drop from Darby as Darby's climbing the goddamn cage, and just looks back, shoots a middle finger to fucking Jack, and no, was it Jack? I don't know. I gotta remember who he actually fell through, but he definitely did a mean fucking spot there. And then we get the illustrious Briscoe chair shot to Jack Perry.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from what I'm seeing is that, like, you know, as we talked about in the news segment, that the internet didn't like the spot because headshots are not to be fucked with. Like, you know, trauma is trauma. If there's anybody who also knows about headshots, it would be fucking Corey Graves, who's sitting out because of, you know, said headshots, like the concussions and shit like that.
Yeah, ended his in-ring career early. And
and the thing that
and the post that he wrote, which
it was cool.
It was fine. He was like, this is not supposed to be tribalistic. This is just someone who's coming from experience, whose life or career was literally shortened at the age of 30, I think. Because of this, it's just not a cool thing. And I think it was
the memory loss is not worth it.
Yeah, and I think it was only up for like an hour until he had to delete it because of the rampant attacks that he was getting because of it, which is just really disgusting, and it's just fucked up to where it's like when they're like they're being very, very straightforward. I'm not trying to be tribalistic. This is not a they versus them. This is not me working for the E or the Fed, as the people like to call it. Like, this is just me, like, from life experience, my personal life. Because a lot of you motherfuckers have never ran the ropes before. I've never ran the fucking ropes before. Like, there's like people like wrestling is. It's not what we see on TV. It's a lot harder than what it like. It's not everyone can just do it, and he's coming from a place of heart and a place of care, because, like, again, yeah, it could, in people's eyes, it could give you CTE. Like, you can bring up Benoit, for God's sake. Like, you can bring up like the shit that happened to Mick Foley during the I Quit match with The Rock. Like, how crazy that spot was. And this is not their first time. This is not this company's first time getting this kind of scrutiny. Like when fucking Sean Spears did he hit Cody in the back of the head with a chair, I think it was, which was fucking wild because you're doing it from behind. Another unprotected chair shot. It's not the first time they're getting this kind of scrutiny or flack or criticism, gimmick chair or not. Which I don't even know how you gimmick a chair. Like, I guess you shave it down or whatever the fuck that means. Regardless, the man was handcuffed on some crucifixion type shit. He was handcuffed to the fucking gate or the and then he got the cage, and he got hit in the head with the fucking chair. Like, gimmick or not, it's just not smart, and it's just I don't know.
You're not wrong.
It didn't need to turn into what it was, because again, this was a person who's a former employee or a former in-ring competitor for years, and who has tons of experience, and who probably still, he's probably still suffers from it. Like fucking The Miz, he didn't get hit with a chair, but he doesn't remember. He got concussed in his match against John Cena at WrestleMania. He still cannot remember that match, and that's not even from a chair shot. And I don't know. It's just it's wild. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's just wild.
You said everything I wanted to say. I think I had the tweet. I gotta remember whose tweet it was, but I think the tweet was something like to the sense of Corey messed up when he tried to bring logic and experience to the internet, and you can't do that, bro. Like, these people are dumb. All they care about is the tribalism and like who's right. And you got people bringing up posts from WWE like, where was Corey when so and so took this chair shot to the head? And it's like, in WWE, it's like, that's not the point.
He's probably dork, 16. Bro. You
the
fucking idiot.
Like, bro, like the point is nobody should be taking like chair shots to the head. Like, that's unprotected at least, you know,
Yeah.
like at least be able to put your hands up and block it off or something. And if it was gimmick chair or not, it's still a hard piece of something hitting your head. It don't take a lot for head trauma, bro. Like I've seen people get concussed by off like little shit, bro. Like things they did in the house, falling and shit like that, yo.
Yeah, and in a match that already has like people stapling each other, super kicks with tack, like it was a spot that you could argue wasn't even needed to get your point across. You could argue wasn't even needed. So you did something just to look cool and edgy, I guess, and then you got scrutiny for it or criticism, and then you're upset. It wasn't that smart. Like it wasn't needed. It's a dangerous spot. It would be the same difference as if XFL or some new NFL league or some new football league started doing like the crazy head-to-head shots that NFL doesn't do anymore, and then people are like loving it, or I don't know. It's weird. It is weird. It's not even tribalism. It's just weird.
People are just dumb. It's just dumb people on the internet, bro. It's like head injuries are being treated very differently now. Like even the NFL, they got the whole guardian caps in practice. Like they're trying to protect people's brains and shit. Meanwhile, we got motherfuckers in wrestling like, oh my god, the chair shot it was a fake chair. It's like it doesn't fucking matter. Just shut the fuck up, please. No. To wrap this up though, as Jack is chained to the cage, Darby asks if he's going to quit. Jack is like, no. Spits in somebody's face or spits in Darby's face, and Darby's like, okay, let's turn this bitch up. He then douses this man in gasoline and then has one of those big like lighters and says, if you don't quit, I will light you on fire. Jack is still remaining like 10 toes down. He's not about to quit. And at that point, Darby asks Jack, well, you're going to face me at All In for the TNT. And Jack's not, no, I don't give a fuck what you want. You're not going to get, you're going to have to burn me. And at that point, Matt is on the ground, handcuffed to the bottom of the rope, and says, "That's what you want? Like you'll have the title shot at All In. Like we'll make it happen. 1v1, you versus Jack." And Darby's like, "No, I need something more. I need you to say you quit." And at that time, Matt says he quits. So I think this was a very smart thing to do because Matt quits. It doesn't hurt. It works for the elite and like the way like they're like the coward on TV or cowards on TV. It protects Jack because Jack doesn't look like he quit because he's chained to the chair. He looks like the badass who's going to take being burned. So I'm okay with the way that went out. Just to piggyback off what we said earlier, the only thing that was just confusing is just Darby winning the Royale on Friday. But other than that, I was okay with the way this match ended. I had no problems with that.
Yeah. And real quick, speaking of that, as of right now, it looks like Grand Slam is going to be September 25th. And then before that, though, because All Out they usually always do All Out after All In, and this year they're taking a week or so between. But All Out, All Out is September 7th, and then you got Grand Slam on the 25th. So there you go.
Is Grand Slam like an actual pay-per-view? Is that a Dynamite?
I think it's going to be a Dynamite. So one of their special shows.
That's fine.
But yeah, they have a lot of shit coming up because we got Battle of the Belts next, then Fight for the Fallen, then Fyter Fest, then All In, then All Out, then Grand Slam, then Wrestle Dream.
Yeah, so they got a very packed out couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the match. I think it was great. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I want to say it was my match of the week, but I feel like it's a little unfair because the whole purpose of the show was this match in general. It wasn't like it was supposed to. If this match would have failed, it would have been bad. But it was great. I enjoyed it. Next up is SmackDown. Pre-taped because the SmackDown roster or some of the WWE roster is actually in Japan right now. Shout out to them. Shout out to the I think it was the My Hero cosplay. I seen Jade in. Like that shit was fucking fire. Yeah. Shout out to them being in Japan right now.
Bro, they because how when they go to like certain places, there's like dedicated merch, like Portland, Suplex City, or some shit like that. They have someone took a picture of like the merch that they have in Japan. Bro, there's a Tokyo Nightmare shirt. It looks so fucking heat. It looks so fire.
Tokyo Nightmare. That sounds hard.
Yeah, bro. It yeah. I was like, I want this. Like it out.
Hey, let me get that. I know somebody got a plug over there. Tokyo Nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking dope.
But
Smackdown kicks off.
Yeah, it kicks off with all this is like Bloodline is going to have to forfeit their spot in the gauntlet, the tag team #1 contender gauntlet match, because Loa's eye was gouged out last week. He's been selling it with the eye patch, even at house shows. He's been selling the eye patch. It's just funny, cool stuff. And so I was like, nah. I mean, we'll tap. I'm gonna wait like another month or so, but we're gonna have to have a conversation about Tama and Tonga. Not necessarily their in-ring stuff, but I don't know, man. The man doesn't seem threatening to me. Like he has a very high-pitched voice, but
fuck.
And that's not meant to be disrespectful. It's just like
it just is what it is.
Between that and the Tasmanian Devil sounds, I'm like, I don't know how to gauge the situation. Like, I don't know. seems like something I would see at the Max. Stop. All right.
Fuck.
So, but Solo's like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. We got some, Bloodline. We got someone else, and it's Fatu. After that, we get an LA Knight promo. It's the typical, like, the camera's watching, following the person all the way from the back through Gorilla to the stage. He cuts a fire ass promo. Again, LA Knight's been firing on all cylinders the last like 4 or 5 months. And we get LA Knight versus Santos, which was a good match. Logan Paul tries to interfere, but it doesn't work. LA Knight wins, and then he gets jumped by Logan and Santos. Which, it was what it was. The real star of that match was Elektra Lopez, because that was it. That's the end of my sentence. Just because. But,
from here,
do you feel any way about this Logan feud, LA Knight feud?
I need Logan off my TV.
Yeah,
I need SummerSlam to hurry up and just get off my TV, bro. I need prestige back to the United States title. I need storylines to be revolved around the United States title. I need it to be like a regular thing, like to make it feel like it's important. At some points, I forgot this motherfucker even had the title. So it's like I need it to be in the WWE atmosphere a little bit more than what it actually is. I get it because Logan brought a lot of eyes. He had the podcast. He's very I don't know if the word is like polarizing in a way, but he's like he gets the views. Yeah. Logan with the belt did a lot for WWE, like it did. Logan with the belt for WWE product, I don't think they got the same kind of return on investment there, but like I get it. But I just need him out. I need to go ahead, do your podcast thing, just stay away from the United States title. I got it. Yeah. From here though, like it was like a series of promos. I think it was like 6 promos, like back to back, maybe 4. I could be, fucked up. Naomi went out. Blair Davenport. Logan Paul says that Mr. Cleveland has a surprise for him when he does SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. We had the Jade and Bianca promo where they tell the champs to stop running and ducking and dodging because they have something to do with them later on tonight.
Yeah, which the Spooky Girls come out and attack them.
Yeah. Street Profits have a promo with Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford does return from last week, which is dope. Mm-hmm. And then we get the Nia and Tiffy promo where Nia's like, don't worry, I'll get you a new briefcase. So pink briefcase may be on the way. Well, stay tuned for that.
Indeed.
And now we get into the tag team gauntlet match.
Yeah, which similar to Blood and Guts, like honestly, I mean, besides the main event, this gauntlet match was pretty much the show.
Do you think you should have closed the show out? I feel like you should have closed the show out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad at the women closing the show out, just for the women to close, and it was a long match. I'm not upset with it, but
I just felt it was hard to like follow up or focus after the gauntlet match because a lot was happening. You saw like 6 fucking tag teams coming out, and then you end the match with another like tag team. It was just a lot of tag team matches to kind of like just digest at that point. I needed something a little bit different to like get me away from that.
Yeah, I feel it. Honestly, maybe they should have started off with the tag team match started off with the gauntlet, and then had the LA Knight match in between that, and then in with the women.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, it starts off with Corbin and Cruz versus Legado. Again, I'm liking this Corbin and Cruz tag. They knock off Legado. Then it's Corbin and Cruz versus the Street Profits, which the Street Profits, they pretty much run they run this shit the entire time. Also fun shit, like, again, I'm liking this Corbin and Cruz. Like, I just the Corbin Cruz / Street Profit segment match part of this was super fire, and honestly,
it was dope.
It was my favorite out of all the. It was my favorite out of the 6 matches we see, and I'm like, and I literally wrote, yeah, no, they need to run that shit back.
That was dope.
That shit was fire. But yeah, Street Profits win. Then we get Street Profits Pretty Deadly, fire. Street Profits be Pretty Deadly. Then we get Street Profits versus OC. That was fine. Street Profits win, and then so Street Profits, they run the gauntlet essentially. They beat 3 teams, and then then we get the bloodline, which I love how the internet yesterday didn't post, like, because they just posted like the bloodline beating Street Profits and like, oh, Triple H ain't beating those allegations, but they refused to also state that Street Profits were in that match for, like, I don't know, 40 minutes.
For a minute.
Yeah. Beating 3 teams. And their final team is fucking Fatu. Yeah, of course they're gonna fucking lose.
It's just bloodline shit. That's what made me so mad, is that, like, because I get it, Jacob Fatu is on fire. You're not making him lose anytime soon. But I don't want to see Montez or Street Profits in general get the Shelton 2.0 thing. They're too fucking talented, bro. Like, both of them are mad fucking talented. But Montez is extremely fucking talented. I don't want to see that just get tossed to the wayside. Because as I'm watching this match, I'm like, well, they just know that their leader just left. They even mentioned it. I don't know if it was on Instagram or Twitter, but they mentioned, like, the leader of, like, that he left. So the conversations are being had between, real life conversations between Bobby and Profits and whatnot, to where, like, they see the writing on the wall there. As much as you're fighting for it, somebody has to make a move and, like, let's push Montez. Let's, put Profits over here. Otherwise, you don't want to lose a Montez. In TNA, Montez would be like one of the best champions in TNA history. I have no doubt about that. Like, absolutely none.
I don't think they're gonna lose, but after tonight, and this has nothing to do with this has nothing to do with you, but we got the same conversations we're having about Montez. It officially also needs to be happening about Dawkins. He was equally just as big of a star. He's just as, like, he's officially way beyond those Marty Jannetty allegations. Either one of these guys could go solo, and I think they would both have success.
I don't think there's a harder worker in WWE than Dawkins. And I mean that from the sense of, like, he knows he's undervalued, but the dude comes in and works his ass off, loses the weight. Like, he carries himself in these matches. Like, Dawkins, from day one to Dawkins now, completely different individuals. So yes, you are right. Definitely got to put some more respect on Dawkins' name.
Yeah, like, when this split does happen, like, I have faith that both of them, honestly, depending on, this might be a hot take, but I feel like Dawkins might have a further ceiling, only because he's a little less goofy. And that's not to say goofy doesn't work, because we had Big E and all this other stuff. But in this new regime, I don't know. I think Dawkins might have his ceiling might be a little higher now. But I think both men will be extremely successful, solo or together. But they need to be, they need to be. But also at the same time, this was a very great show. Like, they went through three teams. This is a great showing. So it's not like they're not getting quote unquote pushed, but they haven't won anything significant in a while, and I don't count that WrestleMania match. So you had Eagles helping and shit. I don't count that. So
I just want something better for, like, both of them. They both put in a lot of work. They're one of the most polarizing tag teams on WWE. They can carry promos whether they're a heel or whether they're faces. It does not matter. And even to the point to, like, I thought even, like, BFAB as a manager has been doing a lot like without like the presence of like a Bobby, she's doing a lot of the talking and like trying to rile the guys up and whatnot. So I'm shout out to her too. But like all in all, we got to figure something out with the Street Profits, like for sure. I get it. The storyline now is Bloodline, which that leads me to my next question of, you know, did we talk about last week to where do we want to see the Bloodline with the tag belts? Like
I don't
that
remember.
looks like the angle that they're going for.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember if we talked about it or not. I have a hard time listening to my own voice sometimes. So
I get that. I get that a lot.
So I only like listen to a half a show. But yeah, no, I don't. We don't. I don't. No. We don't. They don't need it. Honestly, and the match happens next week. So yeah, we get that tag match next week, and we get the women's tag match next week, which people are upset about. It's like, why can't you put these on SummerSlam? Again, they don't like big cards, which is probably why the next couple of years is going to go to 2 nights. Because honestly, Johnny Gargano, he should be on the SummerSlam card.
Absolutely.
But you know that doesn't mean.
Wait, time out. I just processed that Gargano's not working SummerSlam.
Nope, no. The tag team match is next Friday.
God, bro.
Yeah, which people are upset about. You know,
these motherfuckers, bro. That's nuts, bro. He's not. And okay, let me take it back. Maybe because I remember Gargano had also posted that like I believe it was like his father's like diner or like restaurant had burned down.
Yeah, recently.
So maybe he could also be taking care of family during that time. You know, you're back home in Cleveland. Like, there's a lot of stuff that has to like, you know, you're gonna help out with.
Yeah.
So I will play devil's advocate and maybe say family wise, he's probably trying to take care of some stuff over there. And preparing for a SummerSlam and doing all this and not putting the attention on your family could be a lot. But yes, on the other side, it's still a travesty that Gargano is not working Cleveland. Like that's home.
Yeah, it's kind of ass for sure. But to go back to the question I don't know, Bloodline shouldn't win this. I'm assuming what's going to happen is that Randy and KO come back and attack Fatu and Tama takes the pin. That's what I'm assuming happens. Because yeah, we like Judgment Day already has their tag belts, and you know, and still has the world tag. Or I mean, the world championship. So yeah, I'm over. Like, I get that it makes a good looking picture and all this other stuff, but I'm over factions holding all the titles for at least a while. Bloodline do not need these titles. Matter of fact, it does nothing for me if Bloodline was to have these titles. And also, it wouldn't be cool for Johnny and Ciampa to only have literally they lose their second defense, because their first defense was just a rematch against Theory and Waller. Like, no, they need a little longer, especially since they're not working SummerSlam. I think they should have the titles for a little while longer. There's plenty of matchups that we've still yet to see. So yeah, Bloodline should definitely not win this title next week.
But here's the story. The story, like we said, is Bloodline trying to regain their prestige and whatnot, right? If the Bloodline does win and they get these tag belts, they go into SummerSlam with parts of the gold that they had before. But the story is that like SummerSlam versus Cody, let's say fucking Solo's getting close and he's about to take the pin for the second or what, or for the 2 count or whatnot, and then you know that's when Jimmy interferes or some shit like that. Like, it looks better to be like, okay, we were this close to regaining our momentum, our prestige, but then y'all came in and fucked it up. Like, that's a storyline that you can kind of like run with. I do agree that the Bloodline does not need it, but I also understand how WWE does like production and shit, and I can see both ways, you know.
Yeah. I mean,
personally,
I think you could get that same aspect of them with that. I think you could get the same aspect without them winning the titles too, because if KO and Randy show up to get their lick back because you put them through tables, then it's like, true. Yeah, they almost won, but the 2 people that we thought we eliminated, they show back up, and then yeah, Solo almost gets it, but the person who we thought was never going to show up, Roman Reigns, he shows up, or shit like that, and then also it gives you more reason to think about this whole war game shit. But like, if Bloodline does have the titles, then it'll bottleneck the division again, and that's another reason I don't think. Yeah, they shouldn't win it because they'll just then also I feel like the story with the bloodline is once Roman comes back, and it's like, yes, we almost had everything, and then 3 people decided to show back up: Randy, KO, and Roman. If it wasn't for them 3 showing back up, we would have everything again,
right?
Type of thing. So I think you could get the same. I think you could get the same aspect or the same attributes of the storytelling without them winning it. And nah. Johnny and Ciampa just got it.
And I don't like the aspect of everybody being like, fed to the bloodline. Like, you're not building nobody by having them being fed to the bloodline every fucking time, bro.
Yeah.
Like, KO, Randy, at this point, Street Profits, Gargano, and Ciampa. Like, we don't have to kill momentum for the bloodline. The bloodline already has the momentum,
right? And like, Fatu wouldn't be the one taking the pin because I'm assuming Randy comes out of nowhere, RKO's him, and then maybe he eats that a little bit, and then we get a stunner or something. But yeah, like Fatu's not going to lose any cool points if they lose this match next week, especially if he's not the one getting pinned. Tama could easily take that.
But then also at the same time, they don't rock just like 2v2. It's 4v2. So like I would assume that all the bloodline would be involved in this tag team match next week, because if they do come back out, I expect Solo to show up. I expect the one with the eye patch, Tama to come back, that kind of thing.
Well, if he has the eye patch, then it's only 3.5 versus possible 4.
3.
So.
Oh my god. Main event of the night was the women's tag team match. It was Tiffy and Jax versus Bayley and Michin.
Mm-hmm. It starts off 2v1 though, because when Michin's coming out for entrance, Jax and Tiffy time, they attack her.
Mm-hmm.
So and Bayley comes out for the save, but Bayley's like, fuck this, I'm gonna get this W. So for the first half of the match, it was pretty much a handicap match, but Bayley was holding her fucking own. And eventually Michin does come back. And shout out to Michin. I feel like we talked about it before, but she's been getting a lot of reps lately. She's been on multiple different shows. She's been getting a lot of reps. There was a tweet the other week where someone was like, they should just release her. They're not respecting her, and she was like, I'm chilling. I'm making money. Like, I'm doing good.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
she's on TV on a weekly basis.
Bro, she got a job, got a check coming in. Not everybody need to be released. Relax.
It's different if they were in catering every week, but if this person's on TV every week, even if they're losing, if they're on TV every week, that is so much more better than not getting any TV time. The people that we should be doing this social justice work for is the niggas who don't get any TV time.
Or the people who got dropped for no reason. The Cameron Grimes, that's the kind of shit you need to go to bat for. Yeah,
just like the person who's on TV on 2 shows almost every week. That's not that person's eating. Bro? And also, granted, Keith Lee, he's getting checks, but it's still kind of like a one house income. So, you gotta let her work. You know what I'm saying? Like, she gotta feed that boy
for sure. I hope you see Keith Lee again. Shout out to Keith Lee, man. Get healthy, my boy. Get healthy.
Apparently, his contract is expiring soon, and people are like,
"It is."
Should he go to the WWE? Like, no, he should go to the goddamn doctor's office and make sure he's fine. Like, I don't want to see. I'm fine with never seeing him wrestle again, as long as he lives a happier, healthy life.
A healthy life, yeah.
I'm not saying that he's not I'm not saying like some alcoholic or whatever. He just posted a picture of him like hiking with his boys and shit, but. If we never see him in the ring again, it's unfortunate, but I'd rather see him alive. So,
right. And if he's not wrestling, I still think he's valuable backstage as a mentor, producer, something of that sort, because he's amazing. So shout out to Keith Lee, man. I feel like we were just robbed a little bit of not him, but more so just the situation of COVID and the pandemic and all that kind of took a lot from Keith Lee. And we lost out on some really dope matches that could have happened in WWE or in AEW.
Both.
Literally
both. Yeah.
Literally both. So
get better, we still never got that Swerve match. We never got
that. Man.
They even tried to come back to it for a hot second, and then he disappeared again because, We haven't seen him.
Health.
He was supposed to be in that. Yeah, because he was supposed to be in that Meat Madness match, and him and Rusev or Miro, they disappeared, and it's like. But anyway, to go back to the match, moving on the tangent. It was a good match, but yeah, the heels win. Nia Jax pins Bayley, making it. Honestly, I feel like I'm now. Yeah, I don't think I'm pro. I mean, I believe Bayley's going to retain, but now I'm even further believing that she's going to retain since Nia got the pin on SmackDown. But
does Tiffy cash in?
Nah, especially if she's going to get a new briefcase. They're going to let that shit rock for a little bit.
You're right.
Because you got to show that.
I think there was a promo earlier where she asked her. She was like, "Hey, I'll get you a new briefcase. Just make sure you just don't cash in on me." Like, so you might be right.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the shows.
Yeah, that was SmackDown. I feel like overall SmackDown was okay. I feel like it was a little lackluster, but yeah, like it's okay. I think we talked about pre-production where you were like, "This is the episode where Goku and Piccolo learn to drive a car," and I was like, "That's good."
It's a filler episode. Amazing. I mean, there's some good like the tag. This tag shit is good. The Santos match with LA Knight was good, and the women's tag was good. But other than like it, I don't know if it was because it was pre-taped or not. But like subconsciously, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like you said, it wasn't a bad show, but it definitely felt like a filler episode.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's the show, people. Thank you for tuning in. Definitely continue to check with us and rock out with us. Next week, or next episode is the SummerSlam episode, right?
Yeah, biggest party in the summer.
Yeah, so next episode will be SummerSlam. We'll have our thoughts on that for sure. So stay tuned for that. That's gonna be fucking great. I can't wait for that. Thank you for checking us out. Continue to rock with us on Spotify and YouTube. I'm trying to work on like the Apple one because I've been getting a lot of people in my DMs or just in person, like, "Yo, just put this on Apple." I'm working on it. It's a complex thing. But outside of that, we're gonna get out of here. We will catch you guys later. It's been real. Peace out.
Too sweet.